Okay. Did it start? I
Hello.
was waiting for a countdown. All right, sorry about that.
Mhm. That's okay.
Okay, I'll have to zoom in, but that's fine. Um, Welcome to Paranormal Gateway Paratalk. Tonight's guest is the captivating Linda Meris, author of the thought-provoking book Hypocrisy versus Mysticism, Wisdom, and Morality. Linda's journey is nothing short of extraordinary. Through profound paranormal encounters and divine interventions, Linda found herself channeling spirit of one of the most iconic and provocative comedians of our time, Lenny Bruce. In her book, she offers a glimpse into the spiritual realm, where Lenny Bruce's wit and rebellious spirit still thrive. Through automatic writing, Linda communicates with Bruce's reflections on the tumultuous past in free speech through not only explores Bruce's legacy, it also dives into themes of morality, love, and redemption, making it timely and central read in today's politically charged environment. Join us tonight as Linda shares the wisdom gained from her spiritual experiences, insights on channeling, and the powerful impact of past lives on our present and future. Now, further ado, Linda Meris.
Hello there.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's a little tough as we speak out there. Yeah, I'll go ahead and start off with a few questions if you don't mind. What inspired you to write the book?
What inspired me to write this book was an unusual experience, and I call it divine intervention, where I saved the memorabilia of this provocative comedian in the nick of time, within seconds, because I lived on the block where his daughter lived, and I happened to take off a day from work, and I happened to walk by a building a few doors down and see garbage being thrown out, the first bag. But I had this feeling to say something. I said, "What's going on here?" And they told me this daughter moved. And so it was a miraculous that he let me up into the apartment to even look at this stuff. And he let me take it. He said, "Come here tomorrow morning and we'll take it up to your building and to your apartment." And lo and behold, I had all this like 165 pounds of paper and loading up my kitchen, my little studio. It was amazing. And I soon after, maybe in 2 weeks or so, after sending this memorabilia back to his daughter, I started doing automatic writing. I just, something told me to do automatic writing because I was open to parapsychology and psychometry. And lo and behold, I was writing. I didn't know what I was doing. I was nervous, Nelly. I was anxious about this stuff all over the place. And once it was out, here I go with a pen, doing something else I never did. So I just wrote and wrote practically every night, and had a manuscript put in storage because I didn't know what to do with it. I said, "Who's going to believe me? Who's going to be open to all this stuff?" In 1988, when I was done with it, started in 87. So finally, a friend who read my manuscript, and she read it because I read her book, and I told her, I did something too, but I have it in storage, and I don't know, it's crazy, it's automatic writing. And she said, "Oh, let me read it." And she told me it was so spiritually significant. You should do something with it. Yes, it needs editing. And boy, did it need editing. And that's what happened. And lo and behold, a little over a year ago, there's a book. And yeah, and along with the channeling of this comic, I also told my own stories, my divine intervention stories. So, and I had to remember each detail and try to rehash everything, and it came back to me, and I added that to the book. I can't believe I did it. I can't believe that I'm talking to anybody about it because it was in storage so long, 37 years.
So when we first started channeling Lenny, what did the family think?
What did I what?
What did the family think?
Oh, I spoke to his daughter and I sent her a copy of the original channeling, and she seemed open to it. And I kept in touch with her here and there throughout the years. And last I actually spoke to her before last year was around 214. And she asked me, well, how are you doing? Did you ever try to get the book done? And I said, well, I really pushed it because then I just didn't know what to do with it. It was just need a lot of work. So finally, when I got that encouragement from another friend, I decided to go through it. And that's when all the unusual things started happening. My lights started blinking, and I knew it wasn't the air, the door. It was cold, I think, when I started channeling, and the door was closed, my windows were closed, and it was just weird because I didn't need a new light, I didn't need a new bulb. And because the super came, he said, there's nothing wrong with your lights. I said, well, they've been blinking. And then I realized they were blinking when I was looking at this stuff from storage. So, yeah, it's done. It's like, I can't even really explain. A real writer thinks about what they write and they talk about their writing. Me, I have to look at the book myself to remember what was channeled. See, so
Mhm.
it's just unusual. And all these unusual stories started to come through. And yeah,
So for anybody that doesn't know Lenny Bruce, um, can you explain and why he was so considered influential in the time?
excuse me.
How he was considered influential at that time? Back at the time when I think his comedic, wasn't appreciated at that time, the comedy.
Yeah, well, you never know as a medium what's going to happen, who you're going to channel. You don't have your pick at stuff most of the time. I mean, my favorites were Woody Allen and Andy Kaufman and physical comics. Um, and somehow this happened to me, and it was Lenny. Lenny. So it's really something. Just happens. It just happens. And people sometimes say, "Well, did you know him?" I said, "No, I didn't know him, but I was told in the book that I knew him in different lives." But and he left before I got to even attempt to meet him or anything. So I was in Long Island. He was a comic all over the place, and he was having trouble. And I was too young to really understand what was going on. So I'm just somebody out of the blue somewhere. Here I am.
Right. So, what insights does Lenny provide about the spirit world?
Oh, well, if you read the book,
I read the book.
well, what do you feel? You're a reader. What do you feel it said?
I feel that back in the time, I think that people weren't open to a type of stuff in the spiritual world, and I think that scared a lot of people off to begin with. And then when he came out, he had more taboo, I think, that time. If you were, if they read your book, they find out how he was, like spiritually, sexually, and we can talk about stuff like that tonight, or how he felt politically also compared like the way it is.
Yes, he does talk about his past life tumult. and how he is in spirit now and how spirits communicate and about the afterlife. And he's very vivid, I mean, in his words. They're poetic, they're unusual, but you can see from what I've been told and what I read after I did this book that it's very much him. And all the parapsychologists and people I spoke to in paranormal who knew who he was say they can see him in the book. They can see his words that it was him.
Yeah,
So
at most in the book there was a lot of poem type things.
yeah, yeah.
Well, all rhyming going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's an unusual book. I mean, I have it for people to see. Hypocrisy versus mysticism, wisdom and morality, and you could it's hypocrisy versus mysticism. You can say for short. It's on Amazon, and it's he just goes through telling us that we need to care about each other and not be bigoted.
All right.
And he says right here, I speak, I instruct, I reflect, I stimulate, I discuss, I mean what I say, I talk, I'll keep talking. I am the afterlife. No holds barred, no hang-ups. We have etiquette. And he went through some really hard times, and it was very sad. Uh,
He's very big for free speech too.
yes,
Um,
yes, he was all for free speech, and he was against hypocrisy. And his free speech was cut off in his past life. That's what did him in. He couldn't get on stage anymore. And it was terrible from what I read. And now he's talking. Now he's
uh,
there. He's talking for me or
so,
whoever else does this. It's
uh,
just a wonderful, wonderful what he said in this book. I appreciate, and everybody should appreciate the words, the wisdom, the the teachings, the morality.
and, I'll say, um, like when he went to the other side, he's greeted by a lot of people, and he says, over there, on their side, is like one big group of people together, and how everything there, like I know he had the issue with drugs,
Yes, drugs.
and
Yes,
yeah, and well, a lot of people, well, back then, a lot did, but I'm so I think going their side also helped with that.
well, there's love on the other side and acceptance and peace. And he tells us that. And he really knows the state of the world now. It's an utter chaos. Humanity is where is it in many cases, and we need to change that in order to survive.
Yeah,
We need
that,
to do something about it.
that love and forgiveness. That's
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
hard for it's hard for people to do nowadays. Just kind of gets me what's going on right now in the world. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. What you feel stood out for you in the book?
Well, I thought the way you were able to channel him,
Huh?
that right there was amazing to me. But
Yeah, I'm sure he tried to channel through other people, but I stuck with it and probably knew that I would. And that's where I think everything was set up. It was set up for me to be there to save his stuff. And he knew that I was open to all this. It was all set up. It was all divine intervention, um, divine will, whatever you might call it. I was meant to be there, and that's it. Everything, every way, every which way. And I'm trying to really get the word out about this book. And it's for people who are open to the paranormal And for people, even the comedians, if they're open, they should read it because his words are true. And if they know anything about him, and um, they will see it in the book. They will hear the words, and that's how I feel that the public should know about the book. And as I said, the wisdom is there. It's a quick read,
Mm-hmm.
and it's something to share. And even my experiences, many people have had these experiences, but they don't express them. They're afraid that no one will believe them. They don't come out and talk about it.
Right. I think it's more open today than it was many years ago, but still people, like you said, don't want to come out when they have these, like you can do like mediums or like you can do automatic writing. I know some people from different shows that can do that, but did you also about are you still in contact with him? Do you talk to him?
At times I hear him. He'll give me some. I think something recent that he feels that I did a good job and appreciates me over the book, and um, I wish he would tell me more about how to directly get to the people that he was talking about in the book. There are people, he said, the people who helped me and whatnot. So the ones that are still with us, I would like to know who they are and have them read the book. But I still feel that it still needs to just get way out there. And it's, I mean, relatively new. I mean, it's just a little over a year, but still, the exposure and the good reviews floored me. I mean, I didn't know
Right.
what to expect. I didn't expect. I said, "Oh, somebody's gonna probably think I'm a weirdo and give me a 1 star." And I look, I see 5-star ratings.
Yeah. With the Order of Thoughts and Reincarnation.
Okay, what would you like to know?
Well, I know that in the book, I think he talked about it, come back as something else.
Well, you
And
come. Yeah, go ahead.
and does he think he'll ever, or you think he's gonna stay where he's at?
Well, from what I read, I think it's channeled also in the book. He says that well, I think now it's be 50 years he comes back. Before, when I first did this, it was, he said 100 years. So it's less, now it's less than that. So I imagine he'll be back in the body. He said he's shown himself and he's showed his spirit to some people, but not the way people would know it's definitely him. It's in the book. He explains it.
Mhm. I'll definitely have a link for the book at the end of the show.
There's definitely
I'll get
something to read because people are probably saying, she's an author. I'm not really an author. I told my stories in the beginning, but I'm a channeler. So this book is like foreign to me in ways. It's not my words. It's not my syntax. It's not me. I just wrote what I heard, like as a medium, an automatic writer. From my experience, I heard words behind my head, and I just wrote what I heard, but I didn't think about it. It's a feeling, and I just wrote the words, and it came out. And now I do that for other people, and they say, "How did you do that?" I said, "I just heard the words. I'm channeling their spirit guides or who not." And with Lenny, the same thing. So each night I just channel and channel. And I knew, I said, these words are a lot of words. The guy can handle a lot of words. And I just had to, I just wrote everything. I didn't want to miss anything. And he didn't want me to miss anything. So I guess he wrote more of the same at times. Um, and so I just I just did it. And it was over 200 something pages that I wrote. I still have the original writing, and I had that typed up, and it was a different name of the book. It added a little more on certain people, but I felt that might be too personal. And yeah, people I didn't even know I was writing about that he mentioned, and it's just there. It's like it's like almost like a dream, and I don't know where I was. It was just weird.
Did he ever like play any tricks on you or say anything kind of, goofy?
No, 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 no tricks. No,
I
no,
thought he's not a character, so I know if you come off like that sometimes.
no, no, no. I feel he's around me. As he said, he was my guide. He was one of my spirit guides now. So I do feel he's around me. Sometimes I get a picture of him in my mind's eye when I'm walking down the street or whatnot. I just said, don't appear at night in my room. If you're gonna appear, or any of you gonna appear, let it be outside somewhere. I don't care if it's in the park or I'm walking down the street. Just don't come right at me at night over my bed or anything.
Right, that's
Nothing,
that's
nothing creepy.
that's out bounds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I don't know. All I know is that people told me you were so authentic, it's so real. It's no, not you. I said, I know. And I just let people know. I said, read the book and you tell me what you think. You let me know your experience. Because sometimes people talk so much before they read anything. But you don't know anything till you read it. So if you don't believe, or if you're skeptical, or I don't know about all that, read it. You can get the ebook, you can get the paperback, it's on Amazon. Just read it and let me know and get the information and take it from there. So give it a chance.
All right, and I'll have the link
Yes.
to Amazon for them to pick which one they want to get.
Yes, I
Um,
appreciate it. Yeah.
sure, sure, anytime.
Yes. Any other questions you'd like to ask me?
I'm not sure. I think we're come down 5 minutes, I think, right now. So,
Okay.
I
Okay.
think we did pretty good. But I can always hit it back on again.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
maybe
So,
maybe get booked out to December, or maybe in New Year sometime, and get it back on. But
okay.
yeah, it's so much fun talking to you. I mean,
Yeah, it's great.
it's my pleasure having you
It's
on.
meant to be. I always say meetings like this are meant to be. Somebody's going to appreciate it, maybe more than some,
Right.
and read the book
Mm.
and read what I keep reading it over and over. I said, "Who's that? Where did that come from?" It's
Yeah,
wild.
I'm sure I'll read it again too.
Okay.
Um, also, I will have this downloaded and probably on into audio and will be on Spotify, iHeart, um,
Okay.
be on Apple.
Yeah, just let me know and
Yep,
I'll check it out
I,
myself.
yeah, sure, sure. I'll give the links to you.
All
Hey,
right.
all right. Well, you ready to wrap it up until next time?
Till next time.
Okay. It's great having you on. Yeah,
Thank you. And it's great meeting you.
you too. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Good night.
Good night.